Hello everyone, it's Miss Darling in the studio, and today's topic, we're going to take tags that I made in a recent video where I used my gel plate and inks and paints plus templates to create a whole bunch of tags and other ephemera very quickly and easily and unusually. So I invite you to watch that video perhaps first before you go all the way through this one, because it'll make more sense to you. I will link to it in the description box and perhaps even at the end of the video in the final end screen. Look on the left side, and I may hopefully I remember to link to it there. But anyway, that one will help make this one make more sense. You don't have to go watch it, but just for context, if you feel you need it. Anyway, the results of the first set of ephemera that I got is over here, and then the results of the on-screen one that I made, which I show you in the video. I'll make it before your eyes. The results of that are here, and I just want to show you how I then took those background results and simply worked with them to jazz them up a little bit. It's not wildly confusing, or you don't have to, throw all kinds of other things on top to create a nice tag or ephemera. Just something as simple as a sticker, maybe a little more paint, or maybe you glue something on, or whatever. It doesn't take much to make a really nice different looking tag that can be easily inserted into a journal, used as a bookmark even. You just have to have fun and put the time and effort in. So I wanted to show you, I'll show you first what I did with the first group that I had, and I got these two tags that were quite similar. They're small, and so I just glued little pieces of fabric on them, and that will do those. These three were the backgrounds were quite similar. Actually, there's four where the backgrounds were pretty similar, and so I kind of went with a numbers theme and some lace and other little odds and ends that I glued on, just to more of a wabi-sabi random, not really thinking much about design, just kind of slapping it down there and having fun. So there's that group, and then these three were quite similar. The backgrounds were a little more mottled and more grungy looking, and so I played around again using wabi-sabi, just throwing it down, and you get what you get, and that's just fine. I love doing that. Just frees me up, because I've had so much design training through the years. It's oftentimes hard for me to break through that and just go with the flow, so to speak. And so I love having opportunities to do that. This one was kind of a one of a kind, and so I'm still using the wabi-sabi idea here. And then I had these. And I had this big feather that was in my stash somewhere, so I threw that on along with the little advertisement things there and some numbers down here, and just played around and had fun. Now, obviously, this type of thing takes a little more work than just slapping a sticker on, but you got to work with what you have and what you feel is best color-wise and design-wise to achieve what you want to achieve. And so these types of things, they're very neutral. In fact, this whole group, because the background, the paints and inks that I used on the gel plate were very neutral. I've got all these wonderful pieces of ephemera that can be used very successfully in any kind of journal that is more natural in its color scheme. So then on camera, I got all of these, and I used some different paints and inks in these and different techniques when I then went to decorate them. For instance, these two backgrounds were quite similar and very subtle and not as grungy as what we had over here. And so I picked some beautiful stickers, kind of like a Japanese washi tape type sticker. And I put that down on them, and I tried to pick images that were the right scale, the right color, and that would serve together nicely as a dual, as companions. Because when you're decorating your journal, you want to have some repetition in it to bring cohesiveness to it. And you can easily repeat colors, but you need to have variety as well. So it's that balancing act of how much repetition should I use. You don't want it to become boring, but by the same token, you don't want to be kind of all over the place. Color is a great unifying factor, by the way. So then I had these two that came out, the backgrounds came out very similar. And with these, I have a stencil full of Japanese, could be Chinese, but anyway, their calligraphy. And so I pulled out some of my modeling paste and used the stencil on top and positioned it where I wanted it to go. And I still have to put holes in these, I see. And so I have two beautiful tags that could go easily into a Japanese themed, Chinese themed journal. And but even if the journal is not have an Asian theme to it, they can be used anywhere, as long, I think, as the colors go with the color palette of the journal itself. So that was another idea for decorating. And so then I took the modeling paste and added some black acrylic paint to the modeling paste and pulled out a beautiful stencil I've used many times of tree branches. In fact, it's a giant tree, actually. And so I just use portions of the branches to give me my foreground in these two tags. And so kind of my theme for this whole experiment was more nature. So we got some flowers and things, of that nature here and stickers. And then we have more of the same from stencils. And here also is from a different stencil where the leaves and everything are much bigger. And then I kind of ran out of the mix that I had made of the black with the modeling paste, so this one didn't get done. But I decided to just leave it as it was, because I want you to understand that this could be a good tag to include just as it is. You don't have to decorate it further if you don't want to. So bear that in mind. And you can always add something more to it, or you can just leave it as it is. But make that decision based on how interesting it is all on its own, okay? And so then this was the last one I did, and you can see the background of this was very similar to these two. And so I had another stencil I pulled out, and I did this, and this would have been done before I added the black acrylic ink. And so that's what I came up with. So now all I've got to do is, once you put the holes in, is add some ribbon, some sari silk, or some colored jute string like I have here. And I would prefer if this was a little thicker. I think I bought this whole little kit full of these colorful jute strings at Walmart. And I think it was like maybe 10 bucks was all. So very economical, and it gives you a lot of variety that you can use when you want to add, fill up your holes with appropriate string. You can use fabric, you can use ribbon, combination of everything. It just depends on the style of your card, the colors you have to work with, and your own unique personality and creativity. So that's really all I have for you on this one. I'm going to go ahead finish up these. If you want to sit and craft with me, I'm really not going to talk. I will add music for your enjoyment if you just want to craft along with me to get these finished up. Work on whatever you want. So that said, apart from finishing this up as far as my talking is concerned, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. And so I'll see you in the next video, I hope. Take care. Bye-bye.